we are going off in search for the lost colony of Roanoke. To the uninitiated, the lost colony of Roanoke is one of those old American tales, like Pocahontas intervening to save John Smith's life, Molly Pitcher taking up her husband's cannon, Lewis and Clark guided by the brave Sacagawea to chart the West, or titans of American business and ingenuity becoming leaders of the free world. Now, in the traditional telling of this tale, after a few mishaps, a couple of failed attempts at colonization of the area, and shall we say complicated relationships with the local Native Americans, John White landed on Roanoke Island with 115 colonists on July 25th, 1587. So after just about a month, White hightailed it back to England to get resupplied, and he arrived just in time for a little war with Spain. In 1590, once things had died down with Spain, White did make it back to the colony, only to find the place totally abandoned. However, he found the letter CRO scratched into a tree, and investigating further, he had discovered that the colonists had built a defensive palisade with the full word Croatoan spelled on it. Well, White knew what this meant, having instructed the colonists to leave a secret token of their destination should they decide to leave the colony. But here's where the traditional narrative begins to break down. That last fact, that White knew definitively what this meant, is often left out of the history books. However, this kind of begs the question, why didn't White ever go in search of the colonists? After all, his daughter and granddaughter were among the missing people. The colony was not lost. It was abandoned for greed. Captain John Smith of Jamestown, of Pocahontas fame, even made a few attempts and inquiries to see what happened, putting out feelers with the local Native Americans and launching a few small expeditions in search of the Roanoke colonists. In the very early 1700s, explorer John Lawson visited Hatteras Island, and he hypothesized that the locals were actually descended from the colonists of Roanoke, given their gray eyes, English cultural imprint, and their claims that their ancestors were white. And in fact, the site of the Roanoke settlement became a bit of a tourist attraction over the years, even visited by the 5th President of the United States, James Monroe, in 1819. So the romantic myth of the lost colony gained currency as the